Good morning, YouTube. This is I guess a day late Yuletide present for you all. We are looking at Trutmezzer, A Blade of Two Ways. This is another publication, the newest publication by Frater, and the first publication for his work by Three Hands Press. And I wanted to give everyone an overview of this book. Just finished it, and it is something that is a very narrow topic. As you can see here, it is a very short work, but is one that is very interesting, especially for modern day practitioners, and something that you might find useful. It's technically two short essays. The first one is more so the history of the blade in German folklore, and then the second one, of course, is Frater's more intimate encounter in a cave when he was essentially consecrating his knives for future use. Knives he had just received in the mail. So it has not a lot, but has some very nice illustrations throughout. I always love the formatting and the colors of the text. Just all the little bits of detail and the beginning of the paragraphs. Brief introduction from the author, and these are all drawn by Rowan Cassidy. These illustrations, I just love the art style that's used in all of those drawings. But here's where it starts out with what the knife was in German culture, and you can see an example illustration of one here. And this would have been used to basically help keep demons away, or evil spirits, or anybody who would be seeking to, you can see an example down here. If the cream doesn't want to become butter, you could use it. So really, it's almost like a talisman of sorts, magical artifact that you can use not only for more mundane tasks around the home, but also for defense, not only against physical beings, but spiritual as well. And I actually wanted to show, I have a knife here with some bone inlay. This is one that I use anytime I need to actually harvest anything from nature for magical work. This is the blade that I use for that purpose. No engravings or anything like that. It's very much for hard use, but I figured I would at least kind of show that briefly here in this video. The blades as invisible keys. And, a lot of people might use a blade, or in some cases a wand, but for this video and this book, a blade for ritual use. Some people might only use it for for defense or for punishing spirits, but some people use it just as any other tool or a wand to, cast circles or call the elements or anything else that you may need to do. Then the stories themselves, there's a lot of historical references in this mini essay, which is something you definitely want to see so that you can go back and cross-reference anything that you might have questions on. As you can see down here, plenty of references. And then we get into the more personal experiences from the author in the second half of this book. And there's a couple places I wanted to highlight. Just kind of flip through here. It talks about, in this part of the book, he had received the knives recently from Marcus McCoy or Troll Cunning Forge, and and he was going to start using the knives. And it talks about here he felt a familiar kind of excitement and overwhelmed him, demanded a response, and it can only be yes or no. And that stuck out to me because when you're practicing, there's excuses as to why you can't practice right now, or you might try to explain away something that you receive, and that's really where having an opened and available mind to the other side or to spirits can help out with this type of work. There's a reference later on, I think it's actually the next page, on page 66, where he's going through in quite a bit of detail over the next few pages explaining what happened in the spirit he came upon that visited him when he was performing a ritual. And it references that, you know, these techniques can't be explained in detail here, and it references the Magical Knowledge trilogy. So even though this book is focused on the knife and its uses, both historical and modern day, there's a lot of stuff you can, you know, catch here that can point to other resources that are useful. And you know, it's a very short work, but again, it holds the attention, and there's a lot of other references that you can look at if it's something that you're interested in and you want to pursue further. As one other side note, I did also want to show, it's funny that he used Troll Cunning Forge for his knife work and requests. This is one that I actually had made by that same individual. He does phenomenal work. I had this made maybe almost 3 years ago now. Black handle, double-bladed, pretty traditional inspiration. But this is the knife that I use for ritual. But I just wanted to share those thoughts with you on this short book. I know a lot of times books like this may not get the attention they need because they're perceived to be small and quick reads, but I do think there's a lot here for people that are of the modern day practitioner persuasion and not just reading essays for historical information. I would also recommend that if you are going to read this book, a good, read ahead would be another book by Frater, which would be Goetic Atavisms. Kind of sets the groundwork for just some of the terms here. This is not required reading, but it is one that I would also recommend if that's something you're interested in. So thanks for watching as always, and see you in future videos.